President Pranab Mukherjee on Sunday interacted with academicians studying history, cultures, languages and literature of the Indian subcontinent. It was a meeting of minds as the President appreciated deep understanding and appreciation of Indologists. Present at the interaction were scholars from across Russia who acknowledged the lesson of unity in diversity taught by India and said it is extremely important for humankind. President Mukherjee recalled his 43 years in Parliament and dwelt on the theme of democracy in his reply to the interaction.
I spent 43 years of my life in Indian Parliament. So perhaps nothing is more dearer to me than parliamentary practice systems. Not only in our system, Chief Election Commissioner, there are various authorities, Comptroller and Auditor General, Information Commissioners. All these statutory or executive, statutory or constitutional bodies, they are manned by civil servants, mainly from the permanent executive cadres, but the office entrusts them to be totally independent, and that's why the parliamentary system has succeeded.
Later in the day, the President interacted with the Indian community in Russia. He asked them to bring in their skills and capital to support the government's initiatives to make the country a global manufacturing hub. India's trade with Russia is less than 1% of India's overall trade, and he called upon the Indian community to play an important role in propelling economic ties between the two countries to a higher trajectory.
In 2014, our bilateral trade, international trade between Russia and India is just $6 billion US, while the volume of our international trade has increased substantially. In 2014, our international trade amounted to $765 billion US. I am mentioning these things only to point out that there should be, from both sides, India and Russia, and you can contribute substantially, as you are engaged, many of you, in trade, commerce, investment, industrial activities, that we must expand our economic cooperation, trade and investment with Russia.
The President also announced setting up of an annual Distinguished Indologist Award for promoting Indology abroad and organizing a regional conference by the Indian Council of Cultural Relations on Sanskrit and Indology in Russia. Later in the evening, the President inaugurated the Namaste Russia program, which will take Indian culture to 9 cities across the country. The festival, that would reach various regions of Russia over the next 6 months, includes Bollywood movies, music and dance, including Soulmate from Shillong, and a promotion of Indology.
I think it is a reflection of the close relations, cultural relations that exist between India and Russia, and deep interest in Russia about Indian culture.
The performance by the Kadam Dance Ensemble at the opening ceremony mesmerized the audience.
President Pranab Mukherjee's last day in Russia was all about India's soft power. From his meeting with Indologists, where they dwelt deep on the philosophy that binds the relationship, a philosophy that could be the philosophy of the world, unity and diversity. Then his telling the Indian community to help build the relationship in terms of its economic contribution. And finally, the color of Namaste Russia, which reminds me of what one of the Indologists has said: help us to taste, touch and smell India. With cameraman Harimohan Nair, this is Mark Lin, DD News, Moscow.